This super full moon is incredibly powerful. It's full of creativity. It's going to drive your personal leadership and also create more connectivity. And it's coupled with Mercury coming out of retrograde, going direct. So we can expect clarity and forward momentum. Hi, I'm Prema Gurreri, Vedic astrologer, soul guide, high-level intuitive. And if you haven't yet subscribed and clicked the bell notification, do that so you don't miss an update. I post several times a week. All right, so this is a really powerful and exciting time. Supermoon is when the moon is closer to the earth. It's 14% larger and it appears, and it's 30% brighter. So it tends to amplify the energy of the moon. In Vedic astrology, the moon represents our consciousness. It reflects the light of the sun. The sun represents the soul. So some of the energies that we have with the moon are, sometimes it can make it harder to sleep. Our consciousness wants to be awake during this time because it's just so bright, and we're processing a lot of information on different levels, so not necessarily just with our conscious mind, and that's why sometimes it keeps us awake. It tends to amplify our emotions. Emotions tend to be high during a full moon, so we want to use our emotions to the best of our ability instead of having our emotions just run wild. How we feel is what frequency we are aligned with. So pay attention to how you are feeling, and you get to choose how you feel. Sometimes you might find yourself having anxiety during a full moon, and if you notice that, then you want to do something to shift, calm yourself down, bring yourself back to center so you can really feel the energy of the moon. And that's one of the reasons I bring you these updates, so that you can work consciously with the energy and not just get affected by it. So this moon, like I said, is stronger than usual. It's the last full moon of the winter in the Northern Hemisphere. It also marks the same time as the Festival of India, Holi, which really is about the renewal of life. And we have the spring equinox coming up soon. So it's time to get back into gear and get back into motion. The growing season is upon us. Mercury going direct at the same time, on the same day, March 9th, is going to take the energy and bring it back into forward momentum. You have great light with this moon to move forward, with projects, with things, clarity, decisions maybe you've needed to make. Although I don't want you to make decisions until after the 10th. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. There's a reason why. Hang in there. Things have that seem to have been stalled are going to start to be moving forward, and the clarity that you've just been waiting for and need to make a decision about is going to drop in. The energy that we have with this full moon really helps us to step to the other side of that fear, and I really want you to use it for that. So it's in a place in Vedic astrology. It's Vedic astrology based on the sidereal zodiac that is very much about creativity. It's about that sort of procreation kind of energy. And so if you've got a creative project that you've been kind of stalled on, it's been hard to get it going, or you don't know what the next step, or the idea hasn't taken form yet, you're going to be able to do that now. So I want you to get that project out and come to it with fresh eyes. This is a time of great authenticity. This moon is going to spur off for us the energy of it, and authenticity, just you being more of you, because of a lot of the energy that we've had on with Aquarius and the sun and Mercury being opposite of where this full moon is. There's been a lot of attention on socially what we're here for, socially who we are, what the world needs, what is our place in the collective. This is all really important, but you also need to be able to be authentically who you are and not try to be a fit. If you're trying to fit in, then you have definitely lost some of your authenticity. So this one is going to empower you to, who are you authentically? Let you to be more of you. That is what makes us, this robust and beautiful world that we live in. Personal leadership without ego. Leo is a sign of kings. It is a sign of celebrities and the leader. And so you want to use your personal leadership. What are you here to lead? But make sure that it does serve the collective so that it works both ways. You're on purpose, you're fulfilled, and at the same time, there's something that you're fulfilling in the world. Using your divine gifts. Using your gifts is what it unlocks that particular thing in the world that you've come here to unlock. I talk about that more in the Sacred Wealth Code. Book's link is down below as well, or you can grab the book off Amazon, in the Sacred Wealth Code, or even take the free quiz, which is in the description below as well. Because your gifts are so important. If you're using your gifts, you're on your purposeful path. You have no choice but to be and do what you've come here to do using your gifts without the ego part. That's not because of just you trying to get attention for you. When you're using your gifts, you are on purpose, so you're at service too. Very, very powerful. This full moon is about connectivity. It's about, even as a place of commitment and marriage. It's a place of coming together and joining forces and doing it in a way where it's really convivial for everyone. It's, in fact, if I'm looking at someone's chart and picking a marriage date, I love this nakshatra for getting married. In fact, I got married under this nakshatra. Very, very powerful place for commitment and connectivity. This creative renewal that is up with this placement 2, again, allowing you to find out what inspires you. What inspires you? What gives you hope and inner direction and inner drive? Give yourself some time to tune into what that is for you. And like I said, your gifts are a very great pathway to that. Because when you're inspired, that's inspiration. That's the spirit within us. That coming forward, that is an incredible, powerful energy that you cannot be misaligned with as long as you're inspired by your joy, by your purpose, and not by your fear, just to touch back into that point. And a lot of us, are getting inspired by our fear right now, and it's very important to pull that back. We've got certain energies happening that are going to continue for the next few months to be an undertone that could be fear, which is false evidence appearing real. But we've got a lot of great and strong energy, so it's so important that you stand into your positivity, that you stand into your gifts, that you stand into your freedom and to your leadership, and make sure that you are leading from the inside out. Make sure that you are leading instead of being led by mixed messages and by fear. Mercury is going direct, as I said. And in the last 3 weeks, we've been contemplating, we've been going over and weighing our individuality and our connectivity, again, to the world, to where do we fit socially? Where are we aligned, connected, feel like we're a piece of the world and we have something to give? Or where are we we don't feel that? So we've needed to go back and look over what that means for us. How are we collectively together? And how are we individual? And how does our individuality serve and is part of the collective? Again, I'm going to say it again, your divine gifts, like I call your highest value gifts. And that's what the Sacred Wealth Code is all built around, purpose and your highest value gifts. Your highest value gifts will allow you to then be part of the collective, like you're a unique thread in this tapestry of life. Unique, a very particular color, but the tapestry just isn't as beautiful as it can be without your individual part. But really playing it authentically, really leading from that authentic place. But you see, Aquarius rules the collective energy. And again, this is where the Sun and Mercury have been. That's the leader, the celebrity, and the king, and that's the Sun's energy. I've got the leader archetype behind me. And Mercury, which is the merchant, which is the communicator and the messenger, they travel together quite a lot. And Mercury can handle that heat of the Sun. The communicator can really handle that heat of the leadership. But in the opposite sign, we've got this individuality playing out with this super full moon. So it's so beautiful that we get to really look at where are we in these two places individually, and what part of the collective are we, and what are we here to serve? Is this a balanced energy, or are we more in our egos in our leadership, or are we just too part of the collective that we're trying to fit in too much and diminishing our gifts? We're not going to feel so fulfilled if that's the case. So you really need to look out for that. The light of this full moon brings that front and center so that you can see that. You can see where are you fitting in, where are you not. One of the things I want you to ask yourself is what have you been hearing? Have you actually been listening to the message that you've been getting over the last few weeks through this Mercury retrograde? Whenever Mercury goes retrograde, it it retrogrades in a particular area of life, either purpose, relationships, spirituality, or our wealth. And as you're looking over this specific area of life it is for you, then you're recalibrating, you're seeing what's not working, and are you really listening to those messages that drop in during this particular time? The light of this full moon has messages for you, especially with this Mercury going direct. What are the messages you also have been getting from other people? Are you hearing, things that you're going, why are they saying that about me? Or are you hearing that positive feedback that you want to hear? You have to be very discerning on whether what you're hearing from other people is actually a true reflection of you, or is that their stuff they're projecting on you. Sometimes that's hard to tease out, especially in intimate relationships, familial relationships, personal relationships. So you've got to be really honest with yourself. And that's another reason, like knowing your purpose, knowing your gifts allows you to bounce back and go, no, actually that's yours. And no, thank you. Or actually, that's a really good reflection. I'm not seeing myself from that place. We cannot see our own eyes with our eyes. So we do need that community reflection from others to help us, see who we are, how we're affecting the whole. Even if we're, feel like we're very aligned and we're not getting that reflection back, we just may need to tweak our message, tweak our energy so that we can be more palatable maybe, or, really hit the mark where we want to. Aquarius is this place of social dharma. So we can't help it. We've really been looking at this for quite a long time with the Mercury and the Sun here. So really pay attention to those messages and be very discerning on that. The information you're getting both internally, what have you been hearing? And then also what have you been hearing from others? And just to get a barometer on where you are, recalibrate so that you're going forward with this direct energy, with going forward with this full moon energy, actually authentically. Remember with where the full moon, the super moon is, and with your authentic leadership, not trying to be something that you're not, or not standing in your own shadow. That you definitely want to. The beautiful thing about your shadow, and again in the Sacred Wealth Code, we go deep into the shadow, because the shadow is just wounded parts of ourselves, and a lot of our gifts can get locked up in the shadow. So when we embrace the shadow like a small child, we put our arm around and we walk them forward and we get to know this part of ourselves, we get over our own fear. So how do we expect to get over the collective fear if we haven't gotten over our own fears? And that's a lifetime process. So I really encourage you that if you do still feel stuck, that you take a look at your shadow and you see what is holding you back. What are the fears? What are the limiting beliefs that are holding you back? You've got to move past those, and you've got to clear those in order to step forward with your full authenticity and just your full energetic currency and your full power. So, again, people have opinions of us, but what I want to invite you to do is to really choose who it is that you want to be stepping forward. What gifts you want to come forward with in this time of redirection and forward momentum, because the energy is going to pick up. And then again, in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming into the growing season. So the energy is going to pick up quite quickly, like the daffodils that are pushing up through the soil. There's no stopping them. Whatever the temperature is, it's springtime and it's going to come. You've got something that wants to be birthed through you that's been brewing all winter long. Don't let the chaos of the world derail you right now. Get very clear and very true to yourself on where you're going next with whatever. Maybe it's a project in your business, maybe it's a project around a certain area of your life, home, again, relationships, maybe how are you going to bring in more wealth this year, whatever it might be. Make sure it's in service to you, absolutely. Make sure it's in service to the world as well. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you're going to move forward with this full moon and Mercury retrograde, Mercury going direct at this particular time. And be sure to like and share this video. Click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you don't miss an update. I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon. I post several times a week. So much love to you.